up, guys? Man, welcome back to the Rad Zone 360. On this channel, man, we talk about everything healthcare field. That way you can make a good decision on what healthcare field you want to pursue. Mostly it's about radiology, because that's what I do. I'm a radiology technologist for the past 15 years. I think it's like 16. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's just been so long that you kind of lose track. I ain't gonna lie to you, you kind of lose track once you've been in the field for so long. So it's been around that time, maybe 10 to 15 years for sure, 100%. I'm kind of iffy on that 16, 17. Share the video, share the channel, share with somebody that is thinking about getting into the medical field. They just don't know what they want to study. Is thinking about getting into radiology for sure. They just don't know how to get started, or if this is even a good career for them. You find the right page. On this video, what I want to talk to you guys about is what comes with becoming a radiology technologist. Where can you work? What's the salary you can make? If you work in a hospital, what departments that they can put you in within the radiology that you start off working at. This is super important, so stay tuned. Now, the first thing is the hospital setting. When you become a radiology technologist, the school, if y'all don't know, it's a 2-year program. It's 4, depending on where you go. If you go to a community college, it's a total of 4 years because you had to do 2 years of prerequisites. Then once you get accepted to the program, it's 2 years. Now, if you decide to go the private school route, it can be anywhere from 2 and 2.5 years. It's a lot shorter. It's a lot more expensive. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. It's probably 10, 15 times more expensive to go to a private school. It's also not as competitive like it is at a state college. State college, if you're competitive yourself and you challenge yourself, go for it. The school's probably $10,000 and under for the whole program. If you go to a private school and you don't want to sit there and you don't have time to, have time to compete and you got to get right into it, nothing wrong with that, but it's going to be like, so you pick and choose what you want. Now, when you become a radiology technologist in the hospital setting, there's 3 different areas in radio and x-ray that they can put you in. The first one, which I feel is the easiest and the best one that I like, and is this one. It's portables, doing portables. Portable machine, I think it's fun to do portable x-rays, especially in the ER. When you go to the ER and you see some trauma and somebody's elbows like this and hands like this, and you have to think and do some images on that. I think that's a lot of fun. I like ER trauma x-rays. I like going to inpatients too, but inpatient portables can be a little tougher because some patients are weight, which means that if you had to do a chest x-ray, if you had to do a hip, if you had to do a knee, the knees are pretty easy, but the chest sometimes can be hard because if you're trying to push the patient forward to put the cassette behind them and they're resisting you, it can be so hard. And don't get me wrong, nurses are there to help you. Some nurses are available at that time and some are not. You don't have the time to waste all the time to sit there and be like, wait, I'm gonna wait for a nurse. I'm gonna just chill here a little bit, because then you know what happens? That little phone for the hospital is calling you like, hey, where you at? Why are you taking so long? You got more x-rays. And you're like, don't wait. Technologists don't wait. When you go in there, you're helping, go ahead, you gotta do what you gotta do and you gotta improvise. That's it. So portables can have its good, easy ones, and it can have its really tough ones that, you just can't do on your own. Now, sometimes some hospitals are well equipped and well staffed that you can take another with you to help you, which is super awesome at times. But don't count on that, because right now in the medical field, everything is short staffed. So it's kind of to really have that partner that you want. So don't count on that. All right. Now, the second place they can put you in is this right here, which is Fluoro. Fluoro machine does a lot of different special exams, I guess you can say, and they do lumbar punctures, they do video swallows, they do bowel series, also do enemas. Now, with this day and age, I would figure that barium enemas would probably be obsolete by now, but they're still doing them. If you don't know what a barium enema is, look it up. Just look up BE, what's BE in radiology, Google it, and you'll see what we deal with. It's not the nicest exam to do, but hospitals still do them. So that's something that you have to understand. And the thing about fluoro too is I feel like you get the most radiation in fluoro. Now we do protect ourselves. You put lead on, you put the thyroid shield on, so you still protect yourself. But sometimes the doctor, the radiologist, he needs your help. If the patient needs to turn to their side or turn prone, you have to help the patient turn. And while you're doing that, your hands are not protected at all. There's gloves that some hospitals offer, but if you ever put those gloves on, you understand why people don't wear them. But meanwhile, while you're trying to turn this patient, the radiologist decides to be like beep, and you get zapped. So I feel like the fluoro department or the fluoro area of X-ray, you get the most radiation, and I don't like that. I don't like that. And I don't not only the radiation part. That's my least favorite part is fluoro because all the little exams they do. But it's nothing wrong with fluoro. I think a lot of people like it too. So that's another part of X-ray they can put you in. The third part of X-ray they can put you in is here. That is what you call a C arm. A C arm is when you go assist surgeons, and so you take this big old C arm machine. There's two pieces to it, the C and the brain to it. Um, and that makes it hard. Our case or OR tech or OR cases in general is either you love it or you hate it, and that's it. There's no in between. You love it or you hate it. I personally hated it, but I grew to handle myself in there. And the reason that makes it so hard is not the fact that you don't know how to use the machine, it's not the fact that you're not competent, it's the fact that some surgeons make it so hard on you that they make it they build like some surgeons are mean, not all of them, but some are. They'll push a machine away. They're like, give me this angle. If you can't get a perfect angle, they make you feel a little like that you don't belong there. So it can be intimidating to go to the OR. Not to try to scare you guys, but again, usually when you're first starting in OR, you'll get a tech. He'll go in there with you. He'll show you how to use the machine, how to angle the machine, how to do what you got to do. But when you go by yourself, even if you do everything perfect, man, some surgeons they just want to argue. That's it. You can't even sugarcoat it. They just who they are. So you can't let that deter you from doing your job and doing it to an extent that it's good for patient care, surgeon, and good for yourself. Because last thing you want to do is get mad at the surgeon because then it throws your whole day away. So don't let it ruin your day. All right, but the OR can be tough. Just keeping it 100. Now those are the three things you can do in X-ray. X, fluoro, and OR. Those what you got to cover as an X-ray tech. Now, where can you work as an X-ray technologist? So you can work in hospitals, you can work in urgent cares, you can work in imaging centers, you can work as a mobile X-ray tech, and you can work in jails. So the jail has X-rays for their inmates, but there's like a third-party company. It's kind of like mobile X-ray, but that's how the places you can work as an X-ray technologist. All right, so don't think that you only have to work at a hospital. Some doctors' offices have X-ray machines that they can't run that they'll hire X-ray techs for, but those are very rare. But you can also work at doctors' offices, so something to keep in mind. Now, everybody wants to know, what's the salary? How much do you get paid? Is it worth being an X-ray tech? Now, I can tell you from speaking in South Florida only, when you go to school, the good thing is when you go to school, you go to clinicals, right? And everything in South Florida is short-staffed. So by the time you get done with your school, you're gonna have like 3 or 4 offers on the table. As long as you're that student that's respectful, shows up on time, shows initiative, that wants to wants to get better, you'll get a job 100%. Don't even worry about that. But the pay can be different based on different hospitals. So the range you can make coming out of school is between 28 and 32 an hour. That's the range. Now, that's your base pay though. That's your base pay. That's like saying you're going to work 7 to 3. 7 to 3 would be between 28 and 32 coming out of school. Now, if you work 3 to 11, you add $2 to $3 to the hourly rate. If you work overnight, then you add $3 to $5 to the hourly rate. So when you're coming out of school, say for instance, you want to work, not you want to, but you want to make the money, so you're going to choose overnight. You're making $37, $38 an hour overnight straight out of school. This is nice money, not counting overtime. So sometimes some places offer a lot of overtime, which then your money just keeps going up, which is nice. But education wise, where you work as an X-ray, what they expect from you, and the salary. So as always, thank you for watching. I'll show you and give you nothing but real information. Thanks for watching, fam. I'll be back.